So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. My mic sounds nice. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You know, it always does my heart well when we can just spend some time to unplug, unwind, and to even tap in. I come across some random research, probably some news that you cannot use, but I read it and I got to tell it to someone, so I might as well tell it to you. And here we are. If you have not subscribed as of yet, and this just so happened to find you, I would love for you to subscribe. The LaTangela Show podcast, iTunes, Spotify, WAFB Plus, and of course, all of my links are always listed at latangela.com. If you would like to be a guest in the hot seat and on the 10 line, drop me a line, submit your information, and let's chat. I always find pleasure in helping those tell stories in their own voices. We got a lot of great things coming up in the hot seat for you today. We're going to chat with the marketing director of McKernan Injury Attorneys, my guy, Alex Ludwig. He has been running from this interview for quite some time. He'll tell you all about it, but he's here to tell you about it. And I got the inside scoop coming up just for you. It takes a lot to run a team, to run the vision, and to make sure that all of the goals are being met. So, man, listen, I think that every entrepreneur should be able to tap in for this one. Every single one of us can walk away with some nuggets from this one. I came across some random research, and it's all about the babies. I got to do this one for the kids. Parents and pediatricians are starting to notice that the kids are feeling more stressed out these days. Yeah, the babies are starting to feel more stressed out. Fortunately, there's a simple way to make sure that these kids get happy-go-lucky yet again. Get them to bike, get the kids out to swim, get the kids out to play hopscotch, or just be active in other ways. Children who regularly exercise are significantly calmer than the couch potatoes or the kids that's always on gadgets. When was the last time you rode around the neighborhood, just saw some kids jumping rope? Think about it, playing hopscotch. No, we want to fuss about the chalk in our driveways. Let the babies go outside and play. As a matter of fact, it's peer pressure. Neighbor, drop off some toys for the kids, a soccer ball, maybe drop off some jump ropes and a pack of chalk. See, I'm the neighborhood auntie. I do things like that. Chances are, because, I'm outside jumping this rope, trying to get my life together. And these kids can get it too. Come on out here. Let's go. I love it. That's coming in from the Journal of Clinical and Metabolism. When is the best time to do your housework? Since everybody's still talking about spring cleaning because it's in full effect, if you have to do housework today, do it at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. According to Reader's Digest, our body temperature peaks in the late afternoon, which primes us better for the eye-hand coordination it takes to do some waxing, to do some polishing, to do some sweeping. A study actually found that 4 o'clock in the afternoon is the best time for us to be able to do our house chores. Sharpened hand-eye coordination means that you'll leave fewer streaks, so you don't have to post that picture and say, #dirty-mirror-pic. No. Just clean it, but you'll probably be better off doing it about 4 p.m. today. Work taste buds. Sometimes we're just in a rush and we can't get up from our desk, but we get hungry and we need to have our lunch. If you eat lunch at your desk while you work, the food doesn't taste as good as it would as if you were at the house or in the restaurant, and we understand that. But there's also something that's profound, according to these researchers. Researchers from the Netherlands, they found that focused thinking while you're eating, it dulls your taste buds. You're not supposed to be focused on work and trying to enjoy that prepared meal, because now you're taking away concentration from eating this food to doing this work, not spilling this food, trying to hurry and get this food in the time of your little cramped lunch break. I never even thought of that. Okay, I'm with that. Said that it indulges your taste buds. Food is not as sweet, it's not as salty, and it's not as sour, leading people to drink more and to say that they need a pleasurable experience because something about this just took me away from what I needed. And that's the nutrients and the taste that they desired. Okay, psychological science, it's a research journal. So surely if they went all the way to the Netherlands for this, it's not like they were eating some good down south cuisine either, you know? Even your work couldn't take your mind off your grandmama recipes. It just couldn't. One thing you might want to do to ensure that your brain is getting the power that it needs, listen to some music, turn me on and turn me up. I got you. Music can actually boost your brain power. Did you know that? Well, now you know, but only if you tune in to happy songs. Don't be up in there listening to some of those old school songs that's just gonna take you back down memory lane. I found this photograph, and now the photograph got you in your emotions. That's not the song. You gotta find one of them songs that's gonna make you happy. According to research, upbeat music, it boosts the production of dopamine. You know, it's gonna keep you happy, keep you going, and get you through the day. That's coming in from a research publication out in California, and I am here for it. Coming up, I got the inside scoop on some wonderful things taking place in the capital city and surrounding areas. And I'm also going to break you off with the taste of Tange. Probably some things that we want to add to the menu. You might already have it in your fridge or in your freezer. But we're going to talk about this powerful food and the powerful punch that it brings and the why, as of, you know, they call it a power food. Keep it locked right where you have it. Hi, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today for another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. Now, if this episode so happened to find you and you have not hit the subscribe button as of yet, I appreciate you for spending this time with me, but I surely appreciate the subscription. All you have to do is go wherever you're streaming your platforms, iTunes, Spotify, WAFB Plus, and of course, all of my links are posted at latangela.com. If you'd like to be a guest, all you have to do is submit your information there as well. Today in the hot seat and on the tan line, we're going to chat with one of my friends, Alex Ludwig. He is the marketing director for McKernan Injury Attorneys. Now, I've also partnered with them with Tan Cares and Gordon Gives. And I'm super excited about this new initiative, our 225 bulletin board. Now, once you get there, you log on to 225bulletinboard.com, nominate teachers and support team members that's going above and beyond to get it done. We see you, we appreciate you, and we know that we cannot do this without you. I know that nurturing the future and the present is always a must, right? Each winner will receive $250 and some space on our billboards just as a token of our appreciation. Log on, nominate someone today. 225bulletinboard.com. I've been reading through some of the news and some of the headlines, and I came across some random research with consumer affairs. Tell me if this is true. Blink once for yes, twice for no. How much do we love our furry friends? Well, 81% of pet owners say that they love their pet more than at least one family member. 57% love their pet more than their own brother or sister. Have said the same thing about their mother, and 30% chose a pet over their significant other. Say it ain't so. I can't make this stuff up. I'm not smart enough to make this stuff up. Wow, consumer affairs over here breaking up happy homes because somebody is over here conducting that research and meant it when they said it. Now, speaking of things that's just a part of the family, outside of our fur babies, do you consider your car as a part of the family? Well, half of Americans that they surveyed actually considered their car to be a part of the family. The survey of American car owners revealed that 51% think of their car as a part of the family. Now, whether that's an aunt or an extended uncle, 53% would keep their current car forever if given the option. I'm with that. For some, this is due to an emotional attachment, with others saying, I just have fond memories and I don't want to let it go. Beulah is special to me. Yes, I named my car Beulah for whatever reason. If you had to come across a happy tip, what are some of those things that's just making you happy? It just puts you in a better mood instantly. Putting on your dancing shoes must be top tier. Research shows that dancing for as little as 1 minute sends your levels of feel-good endorphin soaring. Hold on, wait. I got like another 45 seconds of this, but I'm feeling happier already. Go ahead, lace up your dancing shoes and make it happen. Have you ever thought that maybe I just want to get more into the things that I am adding to the plate, more of the things that I'm adding to my menu? Well, today the Taste of Tinge is being brought to you by the powerful piece of okra. Did you know that okra is listed as a fruit and not a vegetable? See, reading is fundamental. I sat here and I was going through it, and everybody got this little device in their hand. So I was like, okay, tell me more. Okra is recognized mostly widely as a vegetable, but since it has seeds, it's actually a fruit. I say, oh, well, I was already doing some digging and research and said I wanted to highlight the powerful okra for the Taste of Tinge because of its health benefits. Some of the things that, okra is giving all of the credit for, it states that okra is rich in magnesium. It has a lot of vitamins like vitamin C, K1, and A. It may help support healthy pregnancy, heart health, blood sugar, and it may even have anti-cancer properties. Now, I started digging some more because as you have these devices and you just want to see what's going on, I'm like, contains beneficial antioxidants. Okay, all right. It tastes good. Can we talk about that? Especially if you boil it and you just add a little pepper. That's my preference. But if you have any of those amazing recipes that can just include okra, please let me know. Drop me the line at LaTangela.com. I'm here for that. The Taste of Tinge. Tell me, because you can trust him with the pots and pans. Coming up, we're going to chat with none other than Alex Ludwig. Peer pressure is everything. This guy is a source of sunshine. And when I tell you, he is one of the most motivated leaders that I have met. And I just enjoy working on a team with this guy, admire his leadership and his next level top tier track of thought. Yeah, you don't want to miss the conversation. Be sure to keep it locked right when you have it. Yours.
I don't know.
I mean, you can start off by singing your favorite song. What do you say? What would that be?
My favorite song.
Yeah, right now. In the car, you're jamming what?
Well, it's probably Happy Birthday because it's Molly's birthday. So that's
Happy birthday, dear
Molly.
Molly.
Important thing that's popping in my mind.
Exactly, and I heard that she has the Taylor Swift version of the song going too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Molly's version.
Yeah. I love it. You know what? Today in the hot seat and on the tan line, we have none other than my guy. When I tell you, he is just like the mastermind of all things fun, fabulous, and orchestrated to make it number one. He's running it city by city by city by city. And when I say that, I mean that in the most literal fact. Alex Ludwig, how are you?
Good. I appreciate it, Tam.
Listen, I'm so excited to finally get you in the hot seat and on the tan line. I've had the opportunity to work with you over the past couple of years, and I just admire your work. I admire how you are such a determined leader to keep the goal fresh, right? And I guess first things first, as the marketing director for the #1 firm in the state, McKernan Injury Attorneys, tell me a little bit about your day-to-day operation there.
Well, first, I just want to say you finally broke me down and got me here. I avoided this for a long time.
Yes.
But I try not to be in front of the camera or behind the mic too often.
I know.
But you're consistent. You keep coming for it. And
absolutely.
So, since you keep tagging me on Instagram with your biking and everything,
and we're going to talk about that.
That's important
peer
to
pressure.
me. I was like, she's doing something for me. I'll go ahead. I'll come and get on the mic. So
absolutely. You know what? It's even exchange of peer pressure. And that's why I'm so grateful to be surrounded by people who are always focusing on getting better. You don't get complacent with being #1. There's always saying, you know what can I do to improve what I did yesterday? What can I do today that's going to make tomorrow so much better? And you have a load that comes across your desk every day. Your job looks different. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, really kind of being behind the #1 advertiser in the state, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Gordon's a real creative guy, and he tries to put the right people in the right place. And
Yes.
I hope over the last 2.5 years being there, that it feels like I'm the right person, the right place for the marketing director position.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's just gonna happen in any particular day. Every day you kind of come in this role and just got to kind of figure out what is the most important thing for me to work on today, tomorrow, the next day. What are the projects that I need to start planning for and distributing out to the team? It could be overwhelming, right? Because
to say the least.
Because there's no ordinary day, right? I don't come in and do the same thing every single day.
Right.
And at any given time, I'm sitting there working on one thing, and some big idea, just random idea pops into my head, and I have to start working on it for a second to get it out of my head.
Right.
At a minimum, to get it somewhere, to get it on paper, to get it in a project, get it in someone's bucket. And so there's obviously constant distractions when that's happening, but ultimately got some systems in place so that we're always kind of looking at the top level metrics and trying to figure out how we can continue making that grow, while also doing a lot of these kind of auxiliary items that I think that the brand is becoming known for by a lot of people. When people ask me about the job at this point, some people ask me about the general law firm marketing we do, but at this point it is, what's happening in the NIL space? How is it working with the athletes? How is this going? Hey, I saw that Barbie billboard.
Yeah.
What's going on there? And then in many instances, it's all about the creativity and the fun things, and that's what sticks with a lot of people and what they have questions about. So much so that recently, when a competitor did something that was a little cheeky, one of my good friends asked me, who thought of it in the firm? I'm like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
It's like, yeah, like, was that your idea to put that up? I'm like, that's a different law firm.
That's not
no. He's
like,
that's definitely Gordon McKernan's board. I'm like, no. I think you're just so used to us kind of consistently pushing out fun, goofy, creative things at times that you saw it and you immediately thought Gordon McKernan later on when the kind of face on the board faded for you.
Yeah.
So that was kind of good to hear, a little anecdotal evidence that even the stuff we do makes some competitor advertising seem like ours.
Absolutely. And it's hard to stay ahead of the curve, especially when it comes down to advertising and being so engaged with the community. But I love the leadership and how it's always about the families and making sure that the culture is intact. So even while we're having the fun and getting the branding and the messaging out there, it's a known fact that even while you're running all of these other promotions and all of these other things, that it's still there in your time of need to give us a call, because chances are by the time they call that 888-8888, see, I remember the number, it's because they have experienced something that has just changed their lives. And being top of mind when people can call you and to live up to that brand, I know there's got to be some type of pressure on you too, right? And you have such an amazing team. You mentioned how you have to make sure you put the right things in the right bucket. How do you manage so many different personalities and keep the goal together?
Well, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult, right? It depends on what's on our plate at any given time, what's going on in each person's life, also outside of work. I can truly say that in the last 2.5 years of building up the team that we have built up and the people we have put in place, I've never resonated so much with kind of your work family being family.
Yeah.
I always felt that was kind of cheesy. Always enjoyed my coworkers, always enjoyed the people I worked with. I've had fantastic jobs, bosses, colleagues in the past. But it's a different feeling right now, right? And I get that from my team from the most part, and it's the ultimate compliment when I have a one-on-one with a team member and they just go, I want to work here forever.
Forever.
Right? I want to be here forever. I don't care
if
what
you don't mind. You know what I mean?
And because they're bought in not just to the brand, right?
Yeah.
But to what we're kind of building together. And I think a lot of that is just finding, number one, you got to find the right people and put them in the right situations.
Accountability is big.
And give them some freedom to show their personality and show where their strengths are. And You know, if luckily in our department, we're not so rigid that someone, for the most part, comes in and it's like, this is what you do and this is it, right? We value the creativity, we value the aspects that everybody kind of bring into the team. So when we bring someone in, their role many times looks completely different
Day by
6
day.
months later, a year later, right? Because they've grown into something, and we've noticed where that strength is, and continue trying to build out something that makes sense for that person while continuing to support them otherwise.
And it does. And Alex, it's really hard for somebody to say they're going to get in there and outwork you, right? And I have to shift this right now because I admire you, your work ethic. But listen, you go in there, you get it done, all pun intended. But it's hard for people to make excuses and be on your team. And let me tell you why. So this man put me on notice in February. He was just training for a marathon. Just casually mentioned he was about to go running 50 miles on foot. And I was like, who does that? Like, are you serious right now? And he was really training for it. And I touch my Peloton sometimes, and while you're doing all of this stuff and you're shopping online or you see these infomercials, they never tell you how great of a clothes hanger this thing really is. So Alex was like, yeah, why don't you just do 10 miles a day? And, I'm training right now, so I think it'd be good for the month of February. I instantly regretted walking in this man's office. I was like, 10 miles a day, who, how, what? And something hit me like, maybe he sees something in you that you don't see in yourself. But being a part of your team, I noticed that you haven't let us in a harmful situation. You've only put us in situations to set us up to be better, for us to win. And then I started looking at the calendar day by day by day, and I was like, oh wait, this is a leap year. So I thought I was cheating with February, but February called me for some more. And it has been since that January 31st until now. I'm still doing my 10 miles a day.
You're still doing 10 miles every single day.
It's accountability. And I just feel like Alex might instantly just hit me up on a text, or I put in a group chat, or put it on an email, did you get your steps in today? And I'm like, oh wait, I gotta at least have it. And it's harder for me not to do it now than it is to do it. And that's only because whenever you have a winner's mindset, you learn how to eliminate those excuses. And you have taught me that by showing me that, and still getting there on time, ready to work. The hardest part of the day is out of the way. It's like, yeah, I got 20 miles on foot today. Now, are y'all ready for this meeting? What? Who is this guy? How did you get into running and training and doing all of these super marathons? Because this isn't like your average 5K, Alex.
Well, you give me a lot of credit for your 10 miles a day, but ultimately you're the one going out there and doing it every day. I was starting to run 10 miles a day every day in February, just to kind of get myself back on track after I did a marathon in January, and I was training for that 50 miler. And so when we started going back and forth, I was like, well, I'll just do 10 miles on the Peloton. I'll do 10 miles on a run. I did not do 10 miles a day every single day. In February, I did take some rest days.
It's fine, but you were going for 50.
It's hard for me to do a streak. Every now and then I do some mini streaks, but I like my Monday rest day for the most part. But I use streaks to get myself back into the rhythm of things. But having you out there, what's fun about kind of stoking that fire in you and getting you to do that is now you're doing it every day, and you're tagging me sometimes on these. And when I'm having a day where I haven't hit my workout, or I'm feeling a little lazy, at least for me, right? That gives me now the little extra motivation.
Hey,
so when you're looking at me as doing all these crazy things, but that little push from you helps me out and gets me going out there. But as far as just how I got into running, tell you the truth, I don't really know and don't really remember.
Really?
I can say, I've always been fairly athletic.
Okay.
But I never did a lot of organized sports once I got into like junior high school, when you got on the basketball team or soccer team and things like that. But I remember when I was in high school, I think 10th grade, I tried out for the soccer team, not because I like soccer. I absolutely suck at soccer, but I had a lot of friends on the soccer team. So I want to go be with my friends. Right?
Hanging with the cool kids and whatnot.
So the first day of tryouts, you had to run a timed mile on the track.
Okay.
And I I'd never run the time mile. I'd never really did any type of run. I remember seeing a sign for a 5K in town, thinking like, who does that? That is so foreign, you know? And of course, that's my limited world experience at like 15, 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
And we do this time trial, and I'm the fourth guy out of like 40, and the 3 guys ahead of me are on the track team.
Yeah.
Now I was dying. I was almost puking. I gave it my all.
I felt every single step.
And I still thought like, oh, man, I'm not as fast as those other guys, and I only beat some of these other ones by a little bit. And then during college, I would run a little bit, tried to stay fit with the gym and stuff. And then after college, I started running a little more, just because it's like I gotta go do something, right? Especially instead of like drinking and going out with friends. Sometimes I just need to go do something to fill the time. So I would start running a little bit, and then as I got into it, and I realized how much I sucked at running when I got back into it. It made me think about those soccer days and thinking, wow, like if I would have actually put my mind to it, I could have been, really good on the track. I could have been really good at that. And so I got a little more serious about running, I dip in and out, right? Like I have gone months without any type of training. Like my mind just kind of goes off the rails, and I don't do any training, but I work and I just go hard at work, right?
Okay.
But I've gotten better about that recently, and I'm probably in the best running shape of my life right now. But I don't remember what sparked me to kind of start running. But I would say when I moved to Baton Rouge in 2012, I started going to Happy's Running Club out here. Because I was in a new place, and I was newly single, and I was looking for friends, and so I started going there. Made some best friends of my life to this day over there, and I think that kind of stoked it back up to where I am today.
That's good. Now you need to walk me through the process of saying there's from 5 miles, who does that, to 50 miles. Like you just recently did this. Congratulations on that. It was an amazing thing, because I live vicariously through. Trust me. What's next? How are you preparing now for the next race? Because I know there's one that's on the bulletin board, and we're going to get it done.
Yeah, well, so I trained up for the marathon in January. I guess let me start there. I over the summer I kind of did no training.
Okay.
I was starting back at zero. In October or so, our HR director, Corey, she's a big runner. I was working in the same office as an attorney who likes to run, Davis, and Gordon used to run a lot as well. And so we, all that brings out some competitiveness, right? Like, hey, let's all do the Louisiana Marathon in January. Again, I haven't been running at all for months, and I'm saying, okay, yeah, let's do it. And I immediately go and to Happy's to do a 5K kind of time trial. Davis is there, and he absolutely smokes me.
And he won't let you live it down. So now you really got to work it up.
But I had gone in and out of running so much that I knew, like, okay, and if I stay with it in 3 months, I'll be doing this 5K 6 minutes faster. I'll probably be around a 3-hour marathon. And so I wasn't too worried about the competitiveness of the marathon. I was like, I just got to stick with it. I'm a beat all. Right. But I was worried a good bit though, still leading into it, because I wasn't tracking their running. But we ended up as a group doing the marathon, had a great time. Didn't do quite as good as I wanted to, but that kind of continued to stoke it, like being around people and having a good time with it. And then I randomly, during that training, a buddy of mine posted this, he signed up for this challenge in the summer in Colorado.
Man, what kind of a challenge is it though?
He had posted something along the lines of, if your goals don't scare you, you're not doing it right. And I was like, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like, well, and so I looked at it, and it was a race I always wanted to do. The race is called the Leadville 100. It's a 100-mile race starting in Leadville, Colorado, which is the highest incorporated town in the United States. 10,200 feet is where it starts at, and everything's between like 9,500 feet and 12,600 feet.
That sounds dangerous on many levels. But I'm here. Are you afraid yet? Because I am for you.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm a little freaked out, but it's getting better in my eyes. But to get into it, it's a lottery, because a lot of they don't have any qualifiers for it, which a lot of these bigger races will have qualifiers. You have to run something similar to it in a certain amount of time so that people aren't dropping out. This one doesn't. It needs to do a big lottery. And so you either sign up for the lottery and hopefully get in, or another way to get in is to sign up for what they call the Lead Challenge, which is a series of races over the summer out there that culminate to the Leadville 100.
Okay.
And that's what he signed up for. And I thought, I was like, this guarantees you entry into like the
big one?
penultimate race, right? And he's like, yeah, okay. So I chewed on it for a couple of days. I was like, screw it. And I just signed up. And so on June 29th, I go up there and I do the Leadville Marathon, 26.2 miles.
Yeah, you know, that's lightweight. Nothing, you know, skipping a part.
So you got your little warm up there, right? Then,
Right.
a week later, there's a 50-mile race through a similar course starting in Leadville. And then just under a month later, there is the 100-mile mountain bike race. Next day, a 10K, and then a week later, the 100-mile foot race. And in the middle of all of this, my wife and I are also going to San Francisco in late July to run San Francisco Marathon, because it's going to be her first marathon. So I'm going to go out there and face her.
Now that's ultimate. That's ultimate. I love it. Is she excited yet?
She is, yeah. I think she's a little scared, a little excited when my wife used to yell at me and curse at me because I would encourage her to say, hey, we should sign up for a marathon.
Who is this we?
She had done a half marathon. I'm never doing a marathon.
Yeah.
Get over it. And then one day she sends me a message, and it's the San Francisco Marathon. Maybe we should do this.
Oh.
And so I'd be like, oh. And I was like, don't push.
Don't push. Be
Her.
easy.
Let her fall into it, right? And she did, and then she signed up. And
awesome.
so a little bit after that, I let her know, like, there's a horrible first marathon to sign up for as your first.
Okay.
It's San Francisco. It's hilly.
Yeah, but
really
the weather is
hilly.
so nice. Maybe you should forget about it.
Yeah. But
promise her some shopping afterwards or
it
something.
Is hilly, so she's trying to get some hill work in for her training, here in Flattle, Baton Rouge.
Ooh-wee.
And there's some ways to do it, but it's difficult. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're excited for the summer to go to Colorado, do those races, hopefully survive those races. I got a good taste of the struggle, during that 50-miler. But even more so, last Saturday I decided to go for a run like midday. And it was really hot on Saturday.
This weather is
it got
warming
up to feels like temperature of 90.
And if it feels like it is.
And they say the best way to train for the elevation, if you're nowhere near it, is heat running in the heat, getting used to the swamp air, the humidity, just losing 7 pounds during the run because you're sweating so much and you just can't keep up with the liquids.
Yeah.
So I took that as a challenge. It was my misery run on Saturday. So if I get through my misery run, that'll help train me mentally for the crazier ones.
Dude, that's like saying, I was just gonna leave the office and run the Metairie today, literally. But it's all good. And that just inspires so many people to just chase your dreams. I always say chase the sun or let the sun chase you, but either way, get after it. He is the living source of that. And I absolutely love it. On a day-to-day, you come across different challenges, even if it's saying, I think I'm gonna train for the next, or I think I'm doing this promotion right, or I think I'm doing the best interest for the firm. I hope, G is pleased with the work and the team. It's a lot that ends up on your doorstep. How do you find those moments to unplug, unwind, and really just to tap in to make sure that you are giving the best version of yourself, not just to the world, but to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of that is that running has become that to some extent for me, right? And the main thing is when I'm out there on a run, sometimes I do easy runs, sometimes I do workouts, but no matter what, I'm kind of focused on that run. Periodically, if I'm on a long, easy run, I might make some calls, do some things like that. But for the most part, I'm just kind of connected with the run. It gets me out of that work mode at some point.
Yeah.
And if work mode does creep into it, it's usually creative, which is the fun part of it,
Absolutely.
Right? It's random ideas that start popping through my head. I've been thinking about how I want to launch this campaign and reach these people, and all of a sudden I'm not trying anymore. I'm just out on a run, and these ideas just start rolling through. So it's a mix of a disconnect, but also a way to kind of look at work through a different lens, because my thought process is just different doing that than sitting behind the desk. And then of course the other aspect of that would be just making sure that I have a good home life balance.
Absolutely.
I have a wife, and we have no human children, but we got a couple dogs and a cat, and they
Little fur
they
babies.
mean a lot to us. And so, trying to find that time to do some fun things together. Like this coming weekend, we're going to. She likes to always make a beach trip, so we're going to the beach this weekend, and
she
just
works
kinda
hard.
just
She
connect a
deserves
little
that.
bit.
Yeah, field trip to
absolutely.
the beach. That is awesome. And I think we're gonna have to get her back in the hot seat and ask her how did it go out there in San Fran. So I'm gonna make some bedazzled signs for her and probably a cute little armband or something, because you're gonna have to give her all the things, all the frills and thrills to keep her going for this.
I am looking forward to it and not looking forward to it with the pacing of her. It's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be miserable, and I'm not gonna. I don't know what to expect from her mindset and personality at mile 21 during this 26.2 miles and where she's going to be. She's strong though. She's strong mentally and really does push herself. So my goal is just to run there beside her and help get her to the finish.
That
with
part.
some company.
And she's simply amazing. Like, if she is known as your better half, she's got to be all that and then some. You know what I mean? And look, thank you so much for finally jumping out of the office and into the hot seat on the 10 line. It's your first official trip to the madhouse, but just promise it will not be your last.
We'll see.
I know it. You got more work to do, so I'm gonna let you chase the sun, or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
All right. Thanks, LaTangela.